Hello, everyone. Trilogy here. I am here to offer readings to answer all of your different questions. I will be using these tarot cards today. They are from this deck. You can see that there. I have lots of different tarot decks. I probably have maybe 40. But this is the deck that Spirit guided me to use today. Okay, so I'll draw a few cards or one card to answer the different questions. I do have my regular Rider-Waite deck to the side. Just sometimes I feel like that deck works better for me sometimes. But I also use no tools, meaning I don't need to use tarot, I don't need to use pendulums. I can just ask my spirit guides and angels to give information. So I am clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and that just means I see, hear, and feel. Sometimes I use claircognizance, which is clear knowing. I just know the information. And I can read the past, present, and future. And I'm also a medium, which means I connect with deceased loved ones. A mediumship reading normally takes more time, more energy, more effort. So if you want a full mediumship reading, please come find me on Kasamba after the live. I will be on there for about 4 to 5 hours after this live ends. All right. So I'm happy to read for all of you. I'm just going to center myself. Welcome in my spirit guides and angels. Ask for all of my clairs to be turned on. And I'm going to set the intention that the information that comes through is empowering, it's loving, it's something that will help you feel confident in your life choices. Okay? Because we all know that life is a little bit crazy. And we all of us will need some level of clarity at some point. So that's my intention for all of you. All right? So I am ready for my first question. So Gina asks, hi, thank you for taking the time to answer questions. Wanted to know what messages does my granddaughter Connie have for me? And is she always with us? Okay, I'm assuming that she's in spirit. Does she give us signs telling us she's there? So spirits always give signs that they're around, but I will definitely ask for Connie to come through right now. So there is a feeling of nighttime when Connie comes through. It feels like she comes through at night most often, so that's the time to look for signs. Around, I would say 11 and midnight, that's the timing where it feels like her energy is most active. And there's a feeling of like tugging on clothes. That's one of her signs. And I feel like this is such a subtle sign that you might not even notice it. You might just think, oh, my clothes just fell to the side. Let me adjust it. But I really get the sense that she just tugs on nightgowns, tugs on shirts to just kind of be like, I'm here, I'm around. And I feel like you've already noticed this one, the flickering of lights, which is a common sign for spirit guides and angels and deceased loved ones. But I feel like this was specifically done around Christmas, like last month. So I feel like she's very active around Christmas, especially Christmas lights. So yes, Gina, definitely your granddaughter Connie is around. She is giving you signs. I do hear, I love you. Thank you for keeping my memory alive. And this feeling of either coloring or painting. So I don't know if there's another sibling of hers that's drawing a picture for her, or if somebody is an artist in the family. I'm not exactly sure, but there's a feeling of like, thank you for the painting or artwork, or I like creativity and artwork, something like that. Okay. You can always talk to her. She always hears you. You don't need a medium or anybody else to tell her that you love her. She hears you because she loves you. All right. I'm ready for my next question. So EP asks, I wanted to know if there are any messages my mom wants to give me. We miss her so much, and my birthday is coming up. All right. Well, happy early birthday. Just one moment. Hmm. I'm seeing I Love Lucy, and I'm seeing Ethel from I Love Lucy all of a sudden. Okay. So I don't know if she liked to watch that show or if she was like Lucy or if that's something that you like. But I do see I Love Lucy all of a sudden. I also get the sense that um, there's this feeling, excuse me, of like holding your hand um, when you're sleeping. So you might even wake up and have this feeling of like, I felt like my mom was just holding my hand. So there's something about her holding your hand. And there's also something about being very similar. I don't know if she's talking about similar in features or similar in personality or similar in career, but there's just this feeling of like two peas in a pod. Okay. Like your mirror images, that's the image I'm getting, mirror images of each other, meaning you're similar. And I don't know if there's a Josie or Judy in your family, but I do hear that name all of a sudden. Okay. So yes, that is your message from your mom. I wish you well. Know that her love is always there. All right. I'm ready for the next. So I wanted to know if there is a new life partner in the future for me. This is from Farhana. If there is a new life partner. So life is all about what you make it. Which is to say, if you put yourself out there, if you set the intention, if you are committed to finding a new life partner, then you absolutely will. Okay. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so I do get the sense that you do want to find a new partner this year. So just fully commit to that, embrace that energy. The card that came through was the Maker 3. Um, it's called Labor's Fruit. And this card normally comes up for me when somebody has struggled and they keep saying, why me? Why does this keep happening to me? It's like the same person over and over and over again. But this card also comes up when that pattern is about to end. That woe is me. I can't find the right love. It's about to end. So your labor has paid off. You're going to see the fruits of your labor. And I really get the sense that this June, because the mountains in the background are 3, and this card is about 3, but all of a sudden they multiplied. So I saw 3 and then another 3. So I do believe this is June of this year that you're going to be meeting a new partner. Um, and I feel like this partner is very close with their ex though, because they had kids together, but they're best friend. Well, not best friends, but they're friends. There's nothing romantic. So I feel like you need to heal any jealousy you might have, any insecurity or trust issues, because that friendship is not going away. And again, they have no romantic interest in each other. It just feels like they really want to raise their kids really well. So be aware of that and set your insecurities aside and see this person as they actually are, not through the filter of what happened in the past. This person is very different. They're not going to do what they did before. And there's something about November as well. So I don't know if that this person's born in November or if the two of you move in together in November. I'm not exactly sure, but November is coming up for this year as being important. All right. That is your reading. Thank you for asking that question. These are all great questions. And oh, there was a okay. So there's Farah. Matt asks, is there anything hidden that I need to know? So I wouldn't say that there's anything really hidden, but there's a feeling of not paying attention enough to the things around you, meaning the people in your life. There's a feeling of like that friend that's been coming to your mind, that family member that you haven't spoken to in a while, talk to them. You know, sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees, right? So the universe has brought so many amazing people that we're responsible for into our lives. And we're like, what else is there? What else is there? And it's nothing else. It's them. That's the people you're supposed to be focusing on. So really nurture the friendships, the relationships, the family connections that you have, because that's the main thing I'm getting, especially with the pandemic. So much has been hidden because we haven't seen people as often. So you might not know what they're struggling with. Okay. So I would say to just reach out to them, talk to them, spend some time with them. And yeah, that's the message I'm getting. All right. So Jessica asks, hi, when will my true love contact me? So I don't really do exact time frames of contact. And I'm a firm believer in manifestation. So I would say to do a vision board for this year. So a vision board is, I think most people know, but I'll just explain. It's a board that you normally place on your wall, and it has pictures, it has words, it has colors, and it has shapes. It has whatever you want to represent your best love life. So I would say to do that. Get clear on the characteristics, the type of feeling that you want, but also whenever you're manifesting, you have to focus on what you're willing to offer the other person. Sometimes when we're manifesting, we're like, I want this, that. And we're not really considering the other person. And that's one of the biggest reasons people don't manifest their true love. It's because they're just thinking about what they want selfishly instead of what they're also offering to that other person, because both of you have to be in agreement. So, do you want to be supportive? Do you want to bring laughter? Do you want to bring care, compassion? Do you want to bring inspiration to that person? Play out a typical day in the life of you and your beloved, and then write that into your vision board. See it every day, pray, do a ritual, and that will bring the best match into your life. Okay. But I do feel like the next person that you meet is not the long term person, but it feels like this person you're meant to interact with. So we're meant to have life lessons. And sometimes we're so focused on our forever person that we don't entertain some of the life lessons that the universe wants to give us. So sometimes an interaction with a person that's not meant to be a long term relationship will come into your life because it's just about a life experience and a life lesson. So I do feel like this person's coming around May, but it feels like it's not really going to last, but it feels like it's important to find this person, to talk to them, to interact with them. Okay. And I wish you the best with that. Also, practice self love. Okay. Sometimes when we're so frustrated that we haven't found our truest soulmate, that we don't practice self love, we just get depressed, we get unhappy, we're frustrated, we're yelling at the universe. But that's not really self love. So practice self love on the journey to finding your truest soulmate. All right. I'm loving these questions. Keep them coming, everybody. All right. So Jen asked, is my marriage really over? Should I move on or continue to fight for us? So I'm a firm believer in love is not meant to be a battle. Okay. So I don't find anything worth fighting. I don't feel like you should have to fight for love. Love is freely offered. So it's really up to you what you want to do, but I always say no to people for fighting for love because then it's not love. Love is always freely offered. All right. Any other questions? So Leanne says, will my family heal? So I don't know if you're talking about mentally, emotionally, or physically, but I'm hearing from my spirit guides and angels to talk about spiritually. So there's a feeling of competitiveness in the family. And so it feels like this person's not being heard, this person's not being supported, this person's not being seen. And you're not going to be able to fix all of that because you're one person. But if you can just focus on one person at a time, listening to them, hearing them, supporting them, validating them, loving them, that is what you can do for healing for yourself and healing for that person. Sometimes when we think of our family, it's this big thing that we have to tackle. But when you break it down to just yourself and an individual person, moment by moment, day by day, week, month, that way you're able to really get through it in a way that's not overwhelming. Okay. So healing is a lifelong journey. Don't think of it as a destination of like, oh, I'm healed. That's all I have to do. It will be unfolding for the rest of this life and maybe even lifetimes. So it's about accepting the journey and process of healing and managing it instead of trying to make it instantaneous. Because that's not what happens. And sometimes that's the life lesson, to let go of instantaneousness and appreciate the journey and have patience with it. Okay. I know it's not easy. Okay. I have a large family as well. And when you're intuitive, because I do feel like you're intuitive, when you're intuitive, you can see what's out of alignment. You can see the train wreck before it's actually happening. And so you try to prevent it, then it happens. And that can just, it can really break you down. So honor your intuition. Um, Ask spirit to, when it gives you intuitive information, to give you guidance on how to help so that it's not as overwhelming. I always say to spirit, only give me bad information if you're also giving me the remedy to it, right? Only let me see a negative experience that's about to happen if you're also empowering me and telling me how to prevent it. So you can say that to the universe. You can also say, only give me messages that I'm comfortable with receiving. And the universe will honor that. That way you won't be overwhelmed. You won't be exhausted, because I get the sense that this has been exhausting. And that will just help you to live a life of empowerment with the healing in your family. Okay. All right. Who else do we have here? Will my health be more prosper, or wealth rather? Will my wealth be more prosperous this year? So I do believe, hmm, I'm looking at your picture and I really hear entrepreneur. So you're someone who I feel like came to this world to have multiple businesses. I don't feel like you're just going to do one. Okay. I really feel like, so I'm just going to be honest with what I'm getting for you. I see something with art. Um, so you could create your own coloring book, because it's actually really simple and easy to do that. I'm seeing a TV show, Shark Tank, where this woman was doing a subscription of sending templates of artwork to people, and they were just painting it, and she was making a good amount of money. So there's something artistic for a business that I feel like you're supposed to do. And there's something with beautification or hair that I see you also doing. I don't know if that's selling wigs or selling something else. And I also get the sense that you're meant to look more into investments, maybe even real estate. So yes, your wealth will be more prosperous this year. And I know that me saying all of that might sound overwhelming, but I'm not saying to do it all in this year. Pace yourself. Give yourself 3 to 5 years to really establish these businesses. And yes, really, I feel like in 6 years' time, you're at the level of money that you've surpassed the level of money that you wanted. Okay. It's not just six figures, it feels like it's more. Okay. So really plan, because this year is the start, and then it keeps getting bigger and bigger every year that follows. Okay. Good for you. All right. So keep these questions coming. I will be on for about 20 more minutes or so. So, when will I see any positive changes in my love life? Positive changes in your, so I don't know exactly what you mean by positive changes. You mean meeting somebody new, or your current person, having things improve between the two of you? I'm not exactly sure. So I'm just going to pull a card. Oh. So the card is Winter Bites. I don't know if you can see it. So this kind of means that things are wilting, things are falling away, things are not really going the way that you want them to go. I would say to let go and surrender. To anybody from the past, anyone that you're currently with. I feel like sometimes the answer is not to like keep trying, keep getting therapy. Sometimes it's just about accepting that it's not working and moving on. So I feel like this card is telling you to move on, my dear. I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear, but that's what I'm getting. Okay. All right. And the universe will always bring you another match when you let go and move on. All right. So Sweetie asks, how will be 2022 for me? How will 2022 be for you, is what you're asking. Okay. So the card that I am getting is the Earth card. Whoops, there we go. Can you see it? All right. So this card normally comes up for me when someone's afraid of taking a leap of faith. It normally means that the person's they have this dream, they have this goal, but they're kind of just keeping it very close to their heart. They're shielding it, they're protecting it to the point that they're not taking any action on it. So this card is reminding you to be bold, to do things differently than what you've done before, and really take that leap of faith, meeting more people, learning new hobbies, maybe even taking a course, maybe even switching jobs. But it really feels like in order for this year to be truly impactful, you got to let anxiety go. You got to let fear go. And you got to step into newness. Do things that you never would have done. Okay. And that's how this year will bring you more friendships. It'll bring you more joy. It'll bring you more wellness. It'll bring back that zest for life where you're just excited about what's happening. Okay. All right. So Nora asks, should I move to North Carolina? So I never tell people what they really should or shouldn't do. I normally give them suggestions, advice. I offer my opinion. And so I would say to really tap into your own intuition and meditation, to really sit with the idea of moving to North Carolina. I don't really get the sense that it'll be a bad decision, but it also doesn't feel like it's what you truly want to do. Okay. So you can move to North Carolina and then move back. I don't feel like North Carolina is your long-term destination. It feels like it's temporary if you were to move. But it also feels like you're doing it for somebody else, maybe a partner, maybe family. So really just sit in meditation and think, do I truly want to do this? And if I knew I couldn't fail, if I knew that nothing was going to go wrong, where would I actually move to? And let that be the place that you move to. Okay. I'm a transient type of person. I like to move all over the place. But currently, Puerto Rico has been calling to me, Hawaii has been calling to me. And so I will visit those places, but I don't really feel like they're my long term destination. Okay. So I would say if you want to go to North Carolina, yes, go, but have the awareness that it's not your long term destination. Okay. And I wish you the best with your travels. Satimi asks, on the verge of changing careers, should I do it? Well, I would say this. Whenever it comes to doing what you truly want to do, the answer is always yes to do it. I feel like you want to know if it actually will work out. you know, you want to know if it will be easy. And no, it's not going to be easy. Sorry. But that doesn't mean that it's the wrong thing to do. Sometimes we misinterpret the messages from the divine. Sometimes when there's delay, we think that that means it's wrong. Sometimes when it's hard, we think that's the universe saying don't do it. But it's really just life, you know. So definitely, since you want to change the careers, do it. But just know it's gonna be a little bit unstable, and then it will stabilize. I would say around March, April of this year. But definitely always make the career changes that you feel honor you. don't remain stuck in something that you feel doesn't work for you. Okay. All right. And I do want to pick a card for you, Timmy. It's the Hero's Challenge card. Not as funny. So that just means that you're breaking down doors for the people that come after you. It means you're a pioneer. It means everything that you're doing with your career will help to affect and influence your other family members, as well as other people in your community. So don't let the challenges stop you. Keep going. All right. What was the next question? I think I saw it, it disappeared. Okay, so Han says, over the past 10 years, it seems obstacles and challenges have plagued us, but connection is powerful. I think you mean spiritual connection? Not exactly sure. Is this the year that finally brings us and our family together completely? No, it's not. I really feel like 2023 is the year. 2022 feels like a recovery period. It feels like things are improving, but it really feels like 2023 is more so the golden year. But just be aware that there will be ups and downs. A lot of the times we like for it to be secured forever for the rest of our lives. This issue that we've had in the past is never going to happen again. The thing is, little remnants of it will echo back into your life, but you'll be better and more well equipped to handle it. So I do get something about 2024, some of those things echoing back, some of those issues echoing back. But then in 2026, things look easy breezy. Okay. So, yeah, there'll be some ups and downs this year, but it is a year where things are a lot better. Okay. So, Jennifer asks, do I have anything good coming to me this week? So, the card is interesting, the Nightmare card. So, that's completely opposite to the question that you asked. Okay. You asked if there was anything good, and this card comes up as the Nightmare card. So, just one moment. I'm going to ask for clarity. All right. So I feel like this card is saying that the context you're viewing certain things in your life is with a negative filter. And so practice gratitude. You've heard of a gratitude journal, hey? A gratitude journal is where you just list all the things you're grateful for. Okay. So I feel like there's already good things happening in your life, but you're not acknowledging them. Okay. It feels like you kind of wake up in a bad mood and you're like, oh, it's going to be the same as yesterday. And there's a feeling of like, no, the moment you wake up, say, I'm grateful for this breath. I'm grateful for another day. I'm grateful for the sun, whatever it is. I'm grateful for my health. And that will set you up to having more good things happening this week. As far as anything like very, very specific happening this week to look forward to, all I hear is to check in with a friend. And it feels like this friend has a child. So just checking in with this friend to hear updates about their child. And it feels like just that fellowship. I was going to say communion, but that's not the right word. That connection with this friend, that's the word I'm looking for. That will just help to rejuvenate you. Okay. I also hear get out in nature. You need to be around the butterflies, the trees, the flowers. And I know we're still in winter, but there's this feeling of like, still go for a walk, still get out the house, and you'll just feel better. All right. So I'll be on for about 12 more minutes. If there are any more questions, please ask them within those 12 minutes. All right, so this question is, just wondering, how does a psychic differentiate if you've met a twin flame or a soulmate? So there's no clear answer for that when it comes to all psychics. Basically, just about everybody has a different definition of what a soulmate is and what a twin flame is. So when I think of a twin flame, I do think of that person being, so there's different types of twin flames. I'll try to explain this in a short way. So there's Jekyll and Hyde type of soulmates. You might have seen in cartoons and shows where it's like the good aspect of the person and then the polar opposite, negative. Like they call them the evil twin. I'm remembering that on SpongeBob SquarePants. That was a hilarious episode. But anyway, Um, Basically, sometimes a twin flame is the shadow aspect of yourself. So they push all your buttons, they annoy the heck out of you, and it's not a very loving relationship. Okay. They're more so there to teach you life lessons, karmic lessons, and they're not meant to be your long term partner necessarily. And then there's a twin flame that is, it feels like they complete you. They feel like your other half. And it really is because they are essentially your soul in another body. And so those relationships are normally really, really inspiring. They transform the lives of both parties and the families. It can be amazing. Soulmates. There are so many different types of soulmates. There's a best friend soulmate. There's a pet soulmate. There's a parenting partner soulmate. There's a karmic soulmate. There's a companion soulmate. There are so many different types of soulmates. And so to me, I just define a soulmate as somebody who has a soul level connection, a soul level agreement with you. And that might be to be in love with you. That might be to be your best friend. It can even be just that person that disrupts your life. Okay. There's something I call builder soulmates, and that's a soul that comes into your life after you've gone through a horrible relationship and they help you rebuild your life, but it's not really meant to be a forever relationship. So there's that one definition. So I would say if you're getting a reading from somebody and you're asking about twin flame, is this my twin flame? Is this my soulmate? Give them your definition or ask them what your definition is so that you're on the same page, you have the understanding. But if I'm reading for somebody, I don't ask those questions. I don't ask, is this their twin flame? Is this their soulmate? I more so am looking about what their interaction would be, what their soul level connection and agreement is, and just anything that my spirit guides or higher self has to say. So I hope that answers your question. All right, so I'm going to switch decks to my Rider-Waite. Are there any other questions for me? So Anna says, any messages from my father who has passed? I typically connect with names, but I'll see if I can pick and there's no picture. Um, Anna, I don't feel like I'm going to be able to pick up on his energy. Find me on Cassandra after this live, and I'll be able to do a more in-depth reading for you. Because I normally need more time and a deeper connection to really bring through a deceased loved one. And I've already brought through a few deceased loved ones, so it becomes harder to keep my energy up to bring through multiple loved ones. Okay. All right. So who is next? So Mary Ann would love to know what's in store for me in the next 3 months. So we'll pull 3 cards for you with the Rider-Waite. The next 3 months. So February is coming up as an important male that's around. I don't know if this is a partner or your father or your brother. All I know is that there's a lot of male energy in February. Not in a good way or a bad way. It feels like it's just there. Okay. I also get this sense of something about moving, like relocating, or perhaps just planning a trip. But that's coming up a lot in February. And that's also coming up in March. So this is the card for February. It's the King of Pentacles. Boop, 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 there we go. So I'm not really hearing more about February other than to save money and spend your money wisely, because there might be some unexpected bills that pop in this year. And then this is the card for March. It's the Chariot. And so that's why I was saying it feels like something about moving still, or traveling, or planning a trip. I also get the sense that in March you feel a little bit stationary, meaning it doesn't feel like things are going the way that you want them to go or going at the pace that you want them to go, but it feels like it will very soon. So the last card is the Judgment card. So this card is about rebirth a lot of the time and like signs from the divine. So I do feel like April will be a month where you feel more connected to the divine. But there's this feeling of don't judge yourself. I don't know if you're trying to lose weight or do something different with your diet, but there's this feeling of like not being where you want to be with your body in April. And to just not judge the process, just accept it, celebrate it, because it is your unique process. And I do get that there's either a blast from the past as far as friendships go, like someone you haven't heard from in a while comes back into your life. It feels like a female friend, or you're making a new female friend, or both. Could be both. But that's what I'm getting for the next 3 months. Okay. All right, so in about 5 minutes, I'm going to wrap it up. So let's see here. I dreamt about a red hummingbird last night. This to do with any incoming love changes, any insight on love. So, and you're born the same year as me, 36, yay. Um, I don't really get that had to do with love. Well, I don't really feel like that was the main thing. I feel like that was actually like a grandmother in spirit trying to get your attention, to let you know that she's around you, that she loves you. As far as love goes, let's choose some cards. Oh. So I chose a card from each deck. Yeah, that's why I made that face, because it's the Lover's card and then the Temperance card. These are perfect cards for love. So I do feel like 2022 is bringing in new love. If you look at the Temperance card, you can see that there's a heart right there in the middle. So I feel like this year mainly focuses on love. And I feel like this person is a different nationality than you, or different ethnicity, because it feels like you're getting indoctrinated or getting included in another culture. That's the feeling I'm getting. But I'm not getting the exact time frame, but I do feel like it's sometime this spring. And it just feels like this is a really amazing match. I feel like you're in a place in your life where you know what you don't want and you're your best self, and it just feels like this other person's at a place where they know themselves and they're their best self, so it just works. I feel like it works really well. I do keep seeing symbols around tattoos, so I don't know if you have them or if my spirit guides and angels are saying that the next person has tattoos, but I am seeing that. And I do feel like this person's going to tell you that they saw either a cardinal or a hummingbird as a sign as well. So I feel like that dream was so sharp, and that's why you're remembering it, because the two of you connect over having the same symbolism from spirit. Okay, so maybe even wear a red bird, because it'll be a sign to him that, oh, she's important. Okay, so yes, the person's coming this year for you, this spring. Okay, so Fabiana ask, can you tell me about what my travel plans will be in the future? What the travel plans will be, or how it'll be when you actually travel. So I feel like if you decide to travel this year, it'll go well. It'll be fun. Okay. But contact me on Kasamba to get more specific about what you wanted to know, and I can go deeper into that. So my rate per minute is going to be lowered to $5 today. It's normally $5.25 or $6.25, but I will be lowering it for everybody. I'm ready for my last question, and then I might just pull one card for anybody and give it overall reading. Okay, so is there one last question? All right, you would like to know about if love will come back. No, sorry, I'm hearing this. It's not. And I know that that's sometimes harsh to hear, but this is the card I pulled for you. It says efforts. Can you see it? Effort sustained. It means it's done. It's ceased. Um, Move on, because it doesn't feel like that's really serving you. Definitely, you can still have love for this person. You can still appreciate the interaction you had with them, the love, the relationship. But it just feels like it's a knot. The energy between the two of you is like a jumbled knot that can't be untied. It just feels like it'll continue to be like that. So I would say to open yourself up to new love. Sometimes we can't see past the end of our nose, meaning because we know this person, because we've been with them before, we're just hyper focused on them. But there's a perfect blessing right around the corner. Someone that's easy to be with, someone that's fully invested in you, someone that loves you in the way that you want to be loved. So that's what I would say to move forward towards instead of the past. All right, so I'm just going to pull one card. That was my last question. But I'm going to pull one card for anybody that's still here live with me. And maybe you'll get an answer to your question with this card. It might be more than one card. Just one moment. All right. So it's two cards. The gift of liberty. So anyone that didn't get their question answered and they're still here, I feel like this, oh, and you see those birds. That's a reminder of the person that I was reading before. But this card is saying to me that you are seeing the situation accurately. A lot of people are asked, should I, shouldn't I? Is it this way? Is it not this way? I keep hearing you're seeing the situation accurately. Like if you want to travel, travel. If you want to make a career change, change it. If you want to have new love, have new love. This is affirming you that what you want is coming. So take the action towards it. Don't worry, don't wonder, take the action. And then the last card is strength, that you will be empowered to go do and be anything and everything that you want to go do and be. 2022 is meant to be a bit of a selfish year where we focus on ourselves and we set ourselves up for success. So this card is reminding you, this card is reminding you to really go inward because we're still at the start of this year and to like get clear, to plan, and then to know, to affirm that you have the strength to follow through on all of those things and that it will unfold in the way that you want it to. Meaning you will be able to make the career change, you will be able to have new love, you will be able to travel. It might not be exactly in the package and at the pace that you want it to be, but it's coming. All right. So it's been my pleasure to read for all of you today. Please find me on Kasamba. Like I said, I will be on for about 4 to 5 hours after this ends, and my rate per minute will be $5. Okay. All right. I'm wishing you all nothing but the very best. Take care.